Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my anchor sponsors. I want to thank Jake, Camilo, and then I want to thank my new sponsor, John Cabrera. He's from AmeriCorp. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast. I also want to thank Eddie Lopez from Roots Creative. I want to thank my friends at Dents on Border. If you have any dents or scratches on your car, make sure you contact Dents on Border. You can find them on Facebook. I'll leave a link to them on the description of the show. I also want to thank Sergio's Tacos and Hotdogs. If you're looking for Mexicali-style hot dogs and taquizas, make sure you contact Sergio. His phone number is 760-562-0057, or you can find him on Facebook under Sergio's Tacos and Hotdogs. Finally, I want to thank David Gastelum. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in Imperial or San Diego counties, make sure you contact David. He's not only a realtor, but an investor with over 20 years of experience, and he'll teach you along the way in one of the most important investments of your life. His phone number is 760-235-9576, or you can find him on Facebook. Just look for David Gastelum. My guests today are two members of AmeriCorp from the Imperial Valley sector, I guess you can call it. My guest today is Summer Wong and Jonathan Hernandez. Thank you guys for being here today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
No, thank you for being here. Before we get into, talking about AmeriCorp and your experience and how people can join and all these good stuff, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
You want to go first, Jonathan?
Yes, I'll be more than happy to go first. Once again, before I even begin, thank you guys so much for having us, Pasa Calexico and Jose. But I'm looking forward to this podcast. I know Summer is as well. But just to get a little intro about myself, my name is Jonathan Hernandez. I'm currently 22 years old. As far as like hobbies and sports, I like working out and playing soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was 7. I had the opportunity to play 2 years at IVC. As far as school and education, I did as far as attend IVC for 2 years and transferred to SCU Imperial Valley. I got my BA in criminal justice and a minor in public administration. And I'm gonna pass it over to Summer.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Summer Wong. I'm 24 years old, and this is my second year as an AmeriCorps member. I graduated from the SDSU campus in Calexico, and I'm also from Calexico, so Que Pasa Calexico is very it hits home, So I got my bachelor's in psychology, and I guess one of my hobbies or interests is I do actually really like long walks on the beach. That's actually something I really do like. So no sarcasm there. I really do enjoy it. But thank you so much for having us, Jose. I'm really excited to talk more about our program with you today.
Yeah, for sure. So can you, going back into AmeriCorp, can you tell us a little bit what AmeriCorp is?
Yes, I'll be more than happy to talk a little bit about AmeriCorp. But before we even begin talking about AmeriCorp, how do you even pronounce it? A lot of times you hear AmeriCorps. Keep in mind the P is silent, very similar to AmeriCorps or Marine Corps, right? So the P is silent. So once we got that, settled out of the way, what exactly is AmeriCorps? So keep in mind, AmeriCorps is a nationwide thing. There's more than 80,000 Americans that are, dedicating their time and skills to serve our country, our community, so to speak. With that in mind, here in the Imperial Valley, we're actually known as AmeriCorps Borderlands, where we focus on tutoring, specifically in the areas of English language academics. That's our main focus. Again, we have members scattered. There's 40 of us in total, including Summer and myself. So 40 AmeriCorps members, young men and women, ages from 18 to 30, willing to serve our community. So again, as far as school sites, we're going all the way from the south end, Calexico, Que Pasa Calexico, right, all the way to the north end, Calipap. So we do cover a broad region here in the Imperial County. And as far as, our roles and duties as, team leads, because Summer and I have a little bit different, roles and duties. But more or less, to sum it up, our duties are mentors and overall supporting, our 38 members. As far as, mentoring, we are assigned 5 students each, where we provide tutoring for 5 hours, well, in total, 30 hours per student. And then again, as far as, supporting and really encouraging our members to, finish off the program year, that aspect in itself is, I just think of it as a coach, right? I'm going to relate to me. I played soccer. The way I look at Summer and I, our roles, we're coach. We're here to support them. Where it's, hey, this is how you got to perform, kick a soccer ball. In this case for, AmeriCorps, it's like, hey, when it comes to tutoring, making sure you're presentable on camera, presentation, any way we can help our member better development as far as their skills or interpersonal skills. as well. But that's just a quick, in a nutshell, what AmeriCorps is. And then I don't know if someone wants to add to it, or we can proceed on to the next question.
Yeah, very quick, specifically, our program here in the Imperial Valley, AmeriCorps Borderlands, our program, we've been here for 26 years. So this is our 26th year, which is very special. And we've been, since we work with education, that's our main focus in our program. We've been a program over in the Imperial County Office of Education for 26 years. And basically, everything that Jonathan said, that's what we focus on. We just focus on our members having an opportunity to strengthen their communities and participate in a lot of member development training as well. So alongside us being participants in our community and making a difference, our program also helps to develop our members personally and professionally so that they can continue on with their chosen career role that they want to do later on in life. But our program is honestly really beneficial in that way, where our members just get a chance to strengthen our community, and they get to volunteer with their neighbors and honestly complete strangers, and they just help our community and America become safer and healthier in many ways.
What are some of the projects that you guys are or have especially during the pandemic? I feel that a lot of people are looking for support or help. I know that recently you've been helping Dr. Vo. What are some of the other things that you guys are working on here in the community?
Yes, definitely. So just like what you mentioned, Jose, at the current moment, we're helping out as part of California Volunteers. We're helping out with Dr. Vo's neighborhood health clinic. And right now he has a mobile clinic where he's giving access to health screenings and vaccinations to senior citizens here in Calexico. And we're definitely helping out, facilitating that, passing out flyers, helping out at the actual mobile clinics, facilitating the lines, etc., registrations, but other things that we've been taking part in during this absolutely interesting / crazy year that we've been having, especially this program year, is we've been helping out a lot with various distributions. For example, since our members focus on education, we help out a lot at different school sites in the material distribution with their students. So, for example, maybe once or twice a month throughout the year, they've been passing out material to their students so that they can do their schoolwork at home. So our members help facilitate that, as well as we do food distributions where either we're helping the schools out with passing out those daily meals to the students. Having access to hot meals is really important for the students. Or we've been helping out, for example, over in Nyland earlier on. Wow, it's almost been a year, or goodness, yeah. Over in Nyland, they did have that devastating fire, and it left a lot of the citizens there. It left the community really scrambling, to have resources. And so one thing that we're helping out with is with the Chamber of Commerce over in Nyland. We've been helping out with food distributions monthly so that the community there has access to fresh produce. So we've been helping out there, as well as the Imperial Valley Food Bank. We help put together meals there too, so that they're packaged and ready to go and be distributed over to the rest of the valley. So things like that we've definitely been putting our foot into. Even though this year has stopped many forms of service, it definitely hasn't stopped AmeriCorps. We've really just tried to continue to support our community any way that we can.
Yeah, for sure. What are some of the requirements to be part of AmeriCorps?
I can chime in on this one. So some of the requirements, you're like, you're in the education field, you probably need an AA, bachelor's degree, etc. Actually, one of the minimum requirements is being the age of 18. No schooling is required. However, if you do have college credits, 30 credits, you can get exempt from the written test. That aspect. If you don't have the 30 credits, don't sweat it. You can, as far as just, take the written test. It's just very basic English test regarding writing. And then at the end, it's like an essay, right? So once you pass that, say I'm going to start from the scratch, you got to go through a background process. Again, we got to make sure we are working in the education field. So we do a screening process regarding sexual offenders, making sure that, when we go out to our communities regarding events or, at our school sites, there's no shape or form way there's going to be a liability there. We know that you're a good Samaritan to our community, so to speak, as well as we get a fingerprint screening. So they run a fingerprints as far as, our program, regarding that as well. I feel like I think I'm missing one or two more points, Summer, regarding that.
Yeah, also a couple other participant requirements to apply to AmeriCorps is you must be a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. You also must be 17 years or older with a high school diploma, just like what Jonathan was mentioning. You'll also be taking a high school level proficiency assessment in English and mathematics. And you also just must be committed to, completing a full year of service. So our program is 1 full year. For example, our program is August to August, and members who are entered into the program will complete 1,700 hours of service to the community. So those who are applying would just have to be really committed to providing that service for a full year.
Right. And if I can add real quick, as far as if they are 17 years old, they will need a signature, partying as far as guardian or parent regarding, approval to work with AmeriCorps. If they're, 18 or older, they are exempt. I do want to add as well, you're going to hear it say a lot, right? AmeriCorps members, like why, what does members actually mean? Well, in AmeriCorps, we actually get the opportunity to serve, our communities from 3 months to a year. And exactly like Summer was mentioning, our program here at AmeriCorps Borderlands, we do a contract for 1 year of commitment to our community.
Oh, okay. And there's only like that when you guys only accept members in August?
Yes, that's correct. So usually more or less the application, you can start applying as soon as mid-June. There's already, if you wanted to go to the icoe.org, just type in AmeriCorps Borderlands, click on the first page you'll see, and then you can scroll down and download the PDF file for the application process. But yes, like you're saying, we do only hire during a certain period of time. Keep in mind, it's 40 positions available. So by the time it hits the end of July, more or less, we're done with our process. And we have chosen our dedicated and highly motivated 40 AmeriCorps members.
Okay. So it's only 40 spots per. But does that include, because once you complete your first year, can you resign a contract, or how does that work?
Yes, if you would like, of course, a lot of times, once you get the first year, you're like, oh, I want to reapply again. It's such a great first year. So once you complete your contract of August, end of August, mid-August, more or less, you can definitely reapply. You still have to go through the whole process again, just make sure we're up to par. I do want to mention, though, after your second year of serving AmeriCorps, and we can, kind of get into it later, but we do read one of our biggest benefits of AmeriCorps. We receive a Seagull Education Award, approximately about $6,000 to pay any school loans or tuitions and etc. The only problem with, I guess you can say, quote unquote, the Seagull Education Award, after your second year of AmeriCorps member, if you would like to go up to 3 or even a 4th year member, after the second year, you don't receive the Seagull Education Award.
Can you explain a little bit about that award?
Yeah. So again, once again, the Seagull Education Award is something that was granted to us as far as AmeriCorps members upon completion of the 1 year service, to your community. Again, it varies depending on sites or, programs. But once you complete that, it's kind of like a funding. It's like a little treasury, right? So we can log into our My AmeriCorps, and there we have the opportunity. For example, right, Summer and I, we had school loans from our school sites. We can put a request to our school, institution. Our treasury, and we can kind of take the money and pay off any loans or debts from that nature. But keep in mind, we never see the money. We never touch the money. It's like our little savings account or treasury. And if we have any school loans, that's where we can use it for. Keep in mind, you can't use it for nothing else. You can't request for it and, try to cash it out. Or, hey, I need a car, or I need a monitor to perform, schoolwork. It has to be strictly like school tuition, school debts, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
If I might add very quick, basically it's a grant, and we're awarded a grant just for providing service to our community. So when we keep saying service, basically as an AmeriCorps member, you're doing service hours throughout the entire year that you are on contract. So you're volunteering, basically. We're year-long volunteers. So California, California volunteers, they are awarding us that education grant just to help out with all of our education, especially with our program. Our main focus, where our need is here in the Imperial Valley, is to help our community within education. So we're definitely awarded that. And mostly also because a lot of our members who do apply, they are between the ages of 18 to 25. Of course, it's not specifically, if you're beyond that age, you can definitely apply. But majority of our members here in the Imperial Valley, they are around that age. And, most of them are going to school right now. They're going to IVC or they're going to SDSU, etc. So it definitely does help out. But more than anything else, our members are just very dedicated to that service year. We also receive a living allowance every single month to help out with our expenses. But that grant is definitely a huge bonus and definitely helps out with school.
Yeah, for sure. I know student loans can add up a lot. So if somebody's kind of interested and wanting to be part of AmeriCorps, how can they reach you guys? Or I know you mentioned the ICOE page, but if they if there's kind of some unanswered questions there, can they go somewhere and get some of their questions answered?
Definitely. So first of all, there's a couple places they can go. Obviously, you can visit our social media where we have a lot of links over to either ICOE's program page, referring back to our AmeriCorps Borderlands, as well as if you just want to see the daily activities that we do as AmeriCorps members as a program, you can check out our Instagram at AmeriCorps IV, and you can get the daily scoop basically of what it means on the daily for us. If you want specific information, if you have specific questions, besides Instagram or Facebook, where you can find us at Imperial Valley AmeriCorps Borderlands, you can also reach Jonathan and I specifically. And if I may, I'll just go ahead and shout out our email as well, which is amcteamleaders@icoe.org. You can definitely reach Jonathan and I there as team leaders, and we can give you all the information and all the questions that you may have. We can definitely answer there if you want a direct line towards us. But if anything, just visit the icoe.org program page specifically for AmeriCorps Borderlands or any of our social media to get more of the online scoop of what we do.
Absolutely. And if I can add to it, if you guys do have Instagram, it's a huge benefit because on our AmeriCorps IV Instagram page, we do have a link tree. And the link tree pretty much explains what is AmeriCorps. If you wanted to apply, if you wanted to volunteer, we do highly recommend volunteering. That's how you get your step into the door as far as AmeriCorps member. Before you even apply, you get into your interview. One of the questions may be, and again, this is a benefit of you guys watching, have you ever volunteered? Have you ever worked about AmeriCorps? How do you know about AmeriCorps? And if you're like, oh, I heard about AmeriCorps. Actually, I volunteer at some of your events. Best believe those are a bunch of brownie points. So if you would like to volunteer, again, like Summer was mentioning, reach out to our AMC team leaders at icoe.org and our AmeriCorps and our link, our little bio. Just click on the link tree and you can submit a volunteer request form. We do highly recommend it. And again, our Facebook is very similar to our name, AmeriCorps Borderlands Imperial Valley. Look us up, give us a follow. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'll put links to your Instagram and your guys' emails on the description of the show. That way people can reach out there. And yeah, like I follow you guys on Instagram, and that's how I know you guys are helping Dr. Vo, because I see your Instagram stories, and it's a like you said, it's a good way to see kind of like the behind the scenes of what you guys are doing in the community. It's a really good way to learn about AmeriCorps and what you guys do here in the community. So can you tell me a little bit about, I know next week you guys are having an event. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, it's a huge week for AmeriCorps, and not just our program specifically, but all the AmeriCorps programs who are involved with this national service. So next week from March 7th all the way to the 13th, so starting this Sunday, it is what we call AmeriCorps Week. And basically what AmeriCorps Week is we're celebrating all of the impact that our program, as well as all the other AmeriCorps programs around the nation, what they're doing for their communities. And we're offering up basically our thanks to each and every single one of our members who are volunteering and serving their communities. We're coming together to help our country basically either recover. We're helping our country become more stronger with their communities, and we're just here to say thank you. So it's a huge week for us because we finally get to say thank you back to these individuals who are providing so much for their communities. They're showing up basically, so we want to show up for them.
Do you want to add anything, Jonathan?
Absolutely. Again, AmeriCorps Week. I mean, this is the opportunity we give the everybody all across our nation. Give thank you. Thank you for the service that they constantly provide endlessly throughout our years here in AmeriCorps. Again, 26 years of constant and enjoyable service. Again, regarding how going about AmeriCorps Week, check out the social media page. I don't want to spoil it too much, but look out for our hashtag We Are AmeriCorps, hashtag AmeriCorps Thanks, and hashtag Thankful Thursday. But again, check out the social media page, and you guys will get a lot of insight as far as how we're going to go about celebrating that week.
I do want to add though very quick, what's so awesome about this upcoming week for our program is, I do want to give a small spoiler if that's okay, Jonathan. But I only want to give a spoiler because we're really excited about this. But one of the plans that we have for AmeriCorps Week for our program is we're actually going to collaborate with 2 other AmeriCorps programs. So the AmeriCorps members over at the American Red Cross, as well as with reading partners. So we're going to be doing virtual team building, as well as service day activities with those AmeriCorps members within those programs. And we're going to do it together and celebrate together and have a great week, honestly. There's going to be so many different activities that we have available for our members and a lot of cool surprises to thank them for all that they do for us.
Cool. So if there's anybody listening that might be thinking about joining and kind of like can't make up their mind, is there something that you would like to tell them to kind of like see if they would, kind of like bring them into AmeriCorps?
Yes, or Summer, I'll let you go first. Summer, okay, right on. Yeah, so if you, do I want to join AmeriCorps? Is this a job for me? I think the first thing you got to ask yourself, right? Anytime you apply for a job, is this something you do want to do? Keep in mind, we are going to work with children, ages as small as from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. Those are more or less the age group we work with, right? And as well as we do a service to our community, we're constantly out in our community, making it a better place. So once you answer those 2 questions, if you're willing, you enjoy being around kids, children, middle school, high school, and you like giving back to your community, so check those off first. And if the answer is yes, definitely do it. I do recommend it. Just as a gratification you get, not only helping out, inside classroom, but outside classroom. It just feels so rewarding, and just being there, in the front lines at times, it just knows you're making, our community, our better place. Imperial Valley, it's a better place. All 40 of us collaborate and we work together as a team. Again, AmeriCorps, a lot of it's teamwork. Without teamwork, essentially all of us will fall apart as a team. Again, you got to be, we're all, highly motivated individuals that are just looking to make our community a better place. Keep in mind, we do have a work schedule. We didn't get into that as far as education, and more or less it's related the same. So we do work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have Saturdays, Sundays off, as well as we get all those awesome school breaks off, like winter break, summer break. You do get paid the same for every month. Keep that in month. We get a monthly living stipend. More or less it's about $1,047, and at the end of the year you do get a CEGO Education Award. But again, if it's something you want to do, keep in mind it is a service. Don't ever look at this job as like, oh, I'm gonna make money, I'm gonna get these awesome benefits, etc. Just think of it, if you have the need and the want to go out to your community, and don't think of it as hours. Think of it as like, I like doing what I like to do. The money is not into play. Then you're just going to fall in love with the job in itself. Not to even mention the opportunities. Keep in mind, we're all over the Imperial Valley. With that being said, you come across a lot of individuals that can, in a sense, support you in getting a future job later down the road. I'm going to do a quick example. If you work, for example, at Broad Union High School, and you do a really, really good job there, and you want to apply maybe for instructional aid, I mean, they already seen your work ethic. They see how you are as an individual. The chance of you getting hired at that school site are going to increase tremendously, as well as we do offer a lot of member development. So not only are you, gaining a lot of experience out in the community, but we're helping you as an individual professionally, how to go out there, public speaking, how to go out there and just interact with other individuals. We do interact with the public. If that's something you're interested, right? I want to get into law enforcement. I need to know how to interact with my community. I need to know how to engage and build a relationship with people, not only in Imperial, Valley, but just people with, diversity, right? People with all the different ages and backgrounds. So again, there's so much benefits. And I can go off on a tangent, which I probably did just a tad. Again, I do, if you, think about it and, going back and backtracking, if it's something you want to do and you really want to make a difference in your community, then the answer is yes. And then I'm gonna pass it off to my partner, Summer.
Thanks, Jonathan. I would say if this is something that you're hearing and listening to and there's just a spark of interest, I would recommend just volunteering with us. We're always open to having volunteers joining us in the community. Again, we've been emphasizing a lot of the education part of our program, but another part of our program is the volunteering. It's the community engagement that we do. And it definitely is a great way to learn more about the Imperial Valley, to learn more about the amazing different organizations, programs, groups that we have in the Valley who are already making a difference. And being part of that change, being part of the involvement in that is very rewarding. So if you want to just volunteer, if you have that firsthand experience, I would definitely recommend it. Volunteering and being at the front of all these needs that we have in the Valley is just a great way for you to learn more about this program, and as well as if this is something that you would want to take part in. So if, again, in AmeriCorp, we have the opportunity to implement those learned skills and that we learn here in the program and increase the sense of those skills within ourselves. And we learn more about ourselves and as well as how to be better leaders in our community. So all I have to say is if you have just itch for it, go for it. Nothing ever bad happened from wanting to help your community and, wanting to make a difference. So if that's something you want to do, come and join us. Ask away. We're here to answer any questions that you may have.
Cool. And just before we end, I want to ask you guys something that it might even help those people still undecided. What's your favorite part about being in AmeriCorp?
You want to go first, Summer, or I'll go. Honestly, it's so hard to just narrow it down to just one single thing, but I will absolutely try my best right now. So what is my favorite thing about being an AmeriCorps member? It's just the simple fact of knowing I'm making a difference in my community. Honestly, when I wake up every day and every morning, I know that the work that I'm putting in, the work that I'm doing, it's in order to make, our community a better, a healthier, a smart, safer, and smarter place in the Imperial Valley. Like it genuinely is. I mean, whether I'm helping out our students, right? These are going to be, our future presidents, our future mayors, our future, so forth. They're going to be our leaders in the future. So knowing that I'm building up, I'm supporting our future leaders is definitely very rewarding. Again, the volunteer aspect, I didn't know about so many volunteer events in the Imperial Valley. The good thing that a lot of individuals do here in the Imperial Valley. And again, being there, again, I think one of my highlights of my events, definitely Nyland Chamber of Commerce. When I go out there, more or less for supporting the homeless. In a sense, these people don't really get it, eat food. And it does put me in a very humbling place knowing that I get, food provided every day. And it's, get a step back and just see the bigger picture, our society, and just really think different ways. How can we support one another? How can we support ourselves? And in a game, at the end of the day, it's not a, individual work. We want to make our country a better place. So again, it's so hard to narrow it down to one. But again, if I had to, it's just the gratification I get knowing that I'm making a difference in my community.
I think for me, same thing as what Jonathan said, it is kind of hard to pinpoint one thing only because both of us, I know we genuinely really do love what we do. But if I would try to narrow it down, I would say while being in AmeriCorps, I've had the opportunity to fall more in love with Imperial Valley, even though I've been a lifelong resident of, the Imperial Valley. I've lived in Calexico my entire life. If if you don't have those opportunities, or if you're not introduced to those opportunities to get involved in all the amazing things that are happening all throughout the valley, then you're not going to do it. And so with AmeriCorps, I definitely had the opportunity to, be introduced to all the amazing community events, all the amazing individuals that we have in the valley who are making a difference. But more than that, seeing the impact that we make specifically with the students and those who we are helping over at our community engagement events, talking to people, being introduced to people is really important. Sometimes you live in a very sheltered place. If you're from different cities, maybe you don't travel to different parts of the valley, but this definitely gave me an opportunity to see all these amazing communities. And honestly, you're also surrounded by like 38, or in our case anyways, 38, 39 other individuals who are like-minded as you, who want the same thing as you. So being surrounded by other individuals who want the same thing as you, which is to continue to strengthen their communities, to always be the helping hand, it's very empowering, it's very inspiring. So that's definitely been a huge highlight for me, being surrounded by those individuals who are your support system, and also, your neighbors, your community as well, but also going out there and being face to face with all the great things that are already happening in the valley. So it was a huge introduction for me, and it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to shout out somebody that I know that's in the AmeriCorps. My boy Quentin. He's a really, really fun guy. I really enjoyed talking to him. He was actually my neighbor when he was like 4 or 5 years old. So I've known him for a long time. And if a lot of your members are like him, I'm glad that you have people like him, because he's really, really kind-hearted person, and he's really he really likes to help people out, and enjoys talking to other people. And you guys mentioned a lot, like talking to other people, and networking is a really important to, when it comes to getting a career, like getting a job. Networking is really important. And I see something, especially if you're wanting to go in education, AmeriCorps is a really good way, and from what I've seen. And I've also worked when I worked at De Anza, there was a couple of AmeriCorps members there that worked with me, and I know that AmeriCorps is a good way to network with people, especially in the educational field, and get to know other teachers, get to know some of the other not only teachers, because there's teachers, there's counselors, there's principals, all these other people that you work around with, and it's a good way to kind of meet them and see if that's something that you really want to do, and go from there, and AmeriCorps it's a really good way to experience that, that field. And yeah, and before we go today, is there any closing thoughts that you guys would like to add?
Sorry, going back and forth is hilarious. Okay. Well, I would just like to say thank you so much, Jose, for inviting us and welcoming us here. Honestly, I had a lot of fun today talking about our program. Always gets, I know, both Jonathan and I in a great mood, because then we get all smiley about it and we get excited. But more than that, thank you for giving us a platform to talk about something that we're really passionate about, and to invite others to join us and to apply if that's something that they want to do, or just to volunteer with us. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'll pass it over to Jonathan.
Right on. Once again, like Summer was mentioning, thank you so much to Que Pasa Calexico podcast. The host himself, the man himself, host said, thank you for having us today. It was super fun. I had a great time. And again, Summer was mentioning, anytime we get the opportunity to talk about AmeriCorps, it lines up my day. Definitely, this is going to be the highlight of my day, probably the month, so to speak, just because we give you guys the opportunity. We get back the opportunity to share the knowledge about AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps, it's up and coming, but I feel still there's a lot of people that don't know about this great organization, this great program. And that's what we want to do, essentially spread the word. We encourage you to apply for AmeriCorps. And if you're scheduled, that 8 to 5, it's too busy Monday to Friday, I can't apply, go out and volunteer. I kid you not. Once you go to a volunteer event and you see the amazing work that others are doing and that you're able to partake in and support as well, you're going to fall in love with the job in itself. But again, if you have a tight schedule, you're very busy, I encourage volunteering. If not, definitely apply. As we were mentioning earlier, application more or less would be mid-June. So definitely look forward to that. But once again, thank you, Jose, for having us in the Pasa Calexico podcast. And quick shout out to Mr. Cabrera. I know we didn't mention his name, but he is our coordinator. So without John, honestly, this program wouldn't run the way it's running. So thank you so much, Mr. Cabrera.
Yeah, shout out to John Cabrera for, he was on my contact, and Quentin and him were the contacts. And to be honest, I had already thought about reaching out to John, because I know that I see him on social media a lot, like, doing all these events, these volunteer events. But sometimes you wanna, my goal is always to highlight, people doing positive things in the community. And sometimes there's so many things going on that, especially during this year, that it's been so crazy. There's so many people doing good things, and at the same time, there's so many things that are happening that I want to inform the community about, that people get lost in the cracks. And I'm kind of glad that Quentin and Mr. Cabrera reached out, and I had the opportunity to talk to you guys and give you a platform to talk about your program, because, like I said, I've worked with AmeriCorps members in the past, and they're always super helpful. They're always there, especially in events that when you need that extra help with a special hand. Because I worked in education for 20 some years now, so I've done a lot of like events on after school and stuff like that, and AmeriCorps has been a key part in making sure that these events are run smoothly, and the kids have fun and they enjoy what they're doing. And I'm really thankful for having the opportunity, even myself, to work with some AmeriCorps members. I think I have a couple that are I still talk to, that and this is back in the days, back in like 2001, that I met them, and we still have contact. But yeah, thank you guys again for taking this time. I know it's Friday, and you guys are probably busy trying to end your week. But I really appreciate your time, and thank you guys for hanging out.
Thank you so much, Jose. We had a lot of fun. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jose. And again, thank you for inviting us. We'll be more than happy to come back once again if you feel like. I'm pretty sure I had a great time, speaking for both of us. But once again, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for listening or watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.